Liam never imagined that a wrong turn into the luxury hotel lobby on 5th and River would change his life. At 24, he was beautiful in that effortless sun-drenched kind of way. Warm brown skin, soft curls always slightly tousled, and eyes that glimmered like a secret waiting to be discovered. College had ended abruptly for him due to rising tuition costs, and after bouncing between jobs, he found himself waiting tables at a high-end downtown cafe frequented by the city's elite. He wasn't rich. He wasn't powerful. But he was charming, naturally magnetic. That night he was just trying to avoid the sudden rain. Soaked, with his bike parked 2 blocks away, he stepped inside the Grand Lysander Hotel and sat on a velvet couch near the bar, pretending to wait for someone. That's when Celine Beaumont noticed him. She was everything Liam was not, elegance incarnate. At 42, she commanded rooms with the graceful confidence of someone who had seen enough of the world to be unimpressed by it. A former fashion executive turned investor, Celine had sharp features, a sharp tongue, and a softer heart than she let on. Her black silk dress clung to her like the past she tried to outrun. She offered him a drink. He accepted. By the time they finished their second glass of wine, Liam had made her laugh 3 times. It wasn't a young guy trying to impress a rich woman kind of laugh. It was real, disarming, honest. "Do you always talk to strangers in hotel lobbies?" he asked, cocking an eyebrow. "Only the interesting ones," she replied, her red lips curving into something unreadable. The offer didn't come that night. Came a week later. Celine had returned to the cafe, sunglasses hiding her eyes. She ordered the same black coffee, then left a card with Liam's name written in elegant cursive on the back. Dinner. Friday. 7 p.m. That Friday, she took him to a private rooftop restaurant. After dessert, the stars just beginning to pierce the city's haze, she leaned forward. "I like you, Liam. You make me feel young. And you make me laugh, which is rare. I won't pretend this is ordinary." "I'm not looking for ordinary." "Are you?" He didn't know what to say. But something in her voice, part challenge, part invitation, thrilled him. She continued, "I want someone I can spoil. In exchange for companionship. For charm. For presence. For honesty." It wasn't vulgar. It wasn't transactional in the cold way he feared. It was something else. She wasn't paying him to pretend. She was offering him a place in her world. "Call it what you want," she said. "Sugar baby, consort, muse. I don't care about labels." Liam met her eyes. "As long as I'm not just another ornament." Celine smiled. "God no. I've had enough of those." He said yes. The next few months were a blur of velvet weekends and champagne mornings. Liam had never flown private before. Now he knew the taste of strawberries grown in Japan and wine that cost more than his rent. Celine didn't want obedience. She wanted authenticity. She encouraged his painting, took him to galleries in Milan, bought him canvases and a loft studio. In return, Liam gave her a sense of wonder again. He made her laugh at herself. He reminded her that desire wasn't just for the young. But beneath the silk sheets and Paris sunsets, something real began to grow. One night, in a villa in Tuscany, after slow dancing in the kitchen with bare feet and red wine-stained lips, Liam whispered, "I think I'm falling in love with you." Celine didn't speak right away. Her eyes shimmered like the moonlight on the olive trees outside. "Don't," she said softly. "Not unless you mean it." "I do." Her fingers tightened around his. Then this just got a lot more complicated. Love, Liam learned, wasn't always kind. The arrangement began to blur. He no longer cared about the gifts or the lifestyle. He just wanted her time, her attention, her affection. But Celine was still who she had always been. Controlled, cautious, emotionally armored. "I'm not used to needing anyone," she admitted one night. "And I'm not used to being kept at a distance," he replied. They fought. Not often, but when they did, it echoed. Age, power, money. They all became shadows in the room they couldn't ignore. Some of her friends disapproved. Whispers at gala events. Headlines in glossy magazines. Celine Beaumont's boy toy. She hated it. So did Liam. The more they tried to protect what they had, the more fragile it felt. Celine left for Tokyo on a business trip and stayed longer than planned. Liam didn't hear from her for 5 days. He walked the city alone, past the boutique stores she used to take him to, past the places that once felt like magic. He painted furiously in his studio, canvases full of color and chaos. When she returned, he asked her simply, "Do you still want this?" Her silence was the cruelest answer. They separated quietly. No dramatic endings. No tabloid scandal. Celine transferred the lease for his studio to his name. She left him with a final gift. A letter handwritten. It said, "You made me remember how to feel, Liam. That's a greater gift than anything I could give you. I was scared of how much I needed you. That's not fair to you, so I'll let you go. But if we ever find our way back to each other, I hope it's not because of money or loneliness or guilt. I hope it's because love finally won the argument." He cried. Not for the lifestyle he lost, but for the love that hadn't had the courage to bloom fully. Liam's first solo art show opened in New York. The gallery buzzed with critics and collectors. One of the pieces, a large abstract painting titled Silk and Sugar, drew the biggest crowd. He didn't expect her to come, but near closing she arrived. Celine stood in the doorway, still stunning, still sharp-eyed, but softer somehow. They locked eyes. He walked up to her, heart pounding. "You came," he said. "I told you," she replied, her smile slow and real. "If we ever found our way back." He stepped closer. "Do we try again?" She nodded. "But this time no arrangements. Just us." He took her hand. And this time love didn't lose. They didn't rush. This time Liam and Celine approached love like an antique instrument. Carefully, with reverence, tuning each string slowly. They were older, wiser, and more aware of the fractures that could form in silence or fear. They didn't fall back into old rhythms. Liam kept his studio. Celine didn't try to decorate it. He stopped letting her pay for dinners. She stopped expecting him to always say yes. They argued, sure, but now the arguments were different. Less about power, more about vulnerability. One night, sitting cross-legged on her apartment floor with Thai takeout and jazz humming in the background, Liam said, "I used to wonder if I was just a phase for you. Something to make you feel alive." Celine set her wine glass down. "And now I think we were both trying to remember how to live. We just started at different speeds." She smiled faintly. "And now we're pacing together." He leaned over, kissed her slow. "Now we're dancing." Their intimacy was no longer a performance. It wasn't about who initiated, or who needed who more. It was slow mornings in bed, tangled sheets and whispered confessions. It was Celine running her fingers through his curls while he traced poems on her bare back with a fingertip. It was Liam learning what it meant to be needed emotionally by someone who never let herself need anyone before. But love isn't linear. Sometimes she'd shut down, especially when things got too close. Sometimes he'd spiral, caught in the anxiety of being not enough. After a particularly intense argument, Celine stood by the window of their shared Paris hotel room and whispered, "You deserve someone who doesn't come with so much history." Liam walked up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist and said, "I don't care about your past. I just don't want to be a ghost in your present." She turned, eyes glossy. "You never were." Their world was still beautiful. Trips to Morocco, evenings at art galleries, poetry readings and mountain cabins. But now Liam made his own money. His second show sold out. And Celine, too, found a kind of peace in stepping back from high society. She stopped trying to be a symbol of power. She started writing again. Memoirs at first, then essays on aging, femininity and desire. They didn't flaunt their love. But it was obvious in the smallest ways. How she'd squeeze his hand during interviews, how he always saved her the last bite of dessert, how they learned each other's silences. Liam once told her, "You're not a chapter in my story anymore. You're the ink." She laughed. "God, that's dramatic." He grinned. And you love it.